Welcome back to another episode of Once Upon a Quantum Leap. I'm Capucine and
I am Paul Madar.
hi, Palmadar.
Hi.
Um,
I think any religion, whether it's the indigenous philosophies that flourished for so long, or the newer ones that came in, I think all of them have in common this quest for awareness. At their core, there is a quest for self-awareness or awareness of this God principle or awareness of source, or
mhm.
there's there is a quest for what is going on, who am I, and what is this system that we are in, and how can I be more aware of it?
So stay tuned.
I was fed up with being in public school in eighth grade. I wanted out and I wanted to go to Catholic school.
Okay.
And because I was already researching all this stuff, I was into astral projection, and I was reading those Lobsang Rampa books, the Tibetan philosophies, and just whatever I could get my hands on. And my dad gave me this book by Max Freedom Long, and I think it was just called Huna Magic. I thought, I know nothing about this. I have never heard of this. And I started reading all about Huna, and I had vaguely associated it with voodoo, like just putting curses on people and making them do things from a distance, and but it was all belief based. People would just have a belief, and then the belief would torture them somehow,
Uh-huh.
from within, or they believed that they were demonically possessed. No, actually, it turns out that this Huna system in the Polynesian islands and especially in Hawaii was imported from much farther west. From They even traced it, I think, most of it back to the Middle East, and it made its
Really?
way all the way over to into China and then beyond into the Pacific Ocean.
So before you go further, so I'm
Yeah,
just visualizing the world, right? So a map.
yeah.
So here you've got the islands.
Hmm.
So like either way it would go, it still has to travel around the world on some level,
Yeah. How
right?
does it get there? Yeah,
How does it get there?
yeah. So
Okay,
this
continue.
they thought it was indigenous, but they've actually traced large components of it to back. It's not east. For us, it would be the east, but for them, it would have been west. Even back to Egyptian philosophies. Weirdly enough, out in the middle of the Pacific, you've got these ancient Egyptian principles and philosophies. But the thing that ties it together is this idea of levels of mind. Like, very distinctly, they've got this highest level of mind, they've got this middle subconscious kind of mind, and then they've got this conscious mind. That's this outermost part of the mind. So, very clearly delineating sections of mind, and then principles that are involved in these sections of mind. They almost exactly mirror what we learned in the School of Metaphysics, and what the whole Blavatsky crew uh, was putting out there long time ago, um, where you can program the subconscious mind, you can do these kinds of hypnotic states and bypass the conscious mind and influence somebody's subconscious mind, and it's all woven together with um, this non-local kind of quantum principles that we've been talking about on the show.
Okay, so now I've got to ask you specific questions. What is, so you say, okay, let's start over.
Yeah, where to start with
Yeah,
it?
so I'm not, I've I've only used the phrase, oh, you're the kahuna, or let's
Yeah,
bring
the
in
big
the
kahuna.
kahunas, or
Right.
whatever that is. And I just have a little tiny little picture of what that is.
Hmm.
So is it a
So the
tribe?
kahunas were the medicine men.
Okay.
Yeah, not just the king, but it was like the medicine man who knew the inner secrets of how to work with these inner levels and consciousness and the dream time and
And there were
uh,
the kahunas um, from just the Polynesian group. That's where that
yeah,
term comes from. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
mainly Hawaii, but I think it
Okay.
is in that cluster.
Okay.
And then Huna, just Huna is the religion or the philosophy of those people.
Hmm.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Like you can trace it to early Gnostic principles and and they also incorporated these ideas of levels of mind and influencing subconscious mind or programming subconscious mind. And then superconscious mind. I forget all the terminology. It's been so long, but these long Hawaiian names for these levels of mind, like Unahipili is one part of mind, and Aumakua is another part of mind. And
They call that's so at that they called it levels of mind. I mean, let's
yeah,
see. That's what
yeah,
they refer to. This word means a level of
yeah.
mind.
Like you will, like by doing these practices, you will tune into a different frame of mind, a way of thinking, a consciousness. I don't know what their term was, but yeah, they very distinctly sectioned levels of consciousness.
Oh.
Yeah, layers. We're
And
like
that
onions.
and that's what you wanted to be? You wanted to be a kahuna?
I wanted to be a kahuna. But then, yeah, so I was fed up with public school and I wanted to go to Catholic high school because I thought it would be more spiritual in Catholic high school.
Huh.
Yeah, like the whole vibe would be a little bit more towards spirituality and not so much.
Okay, so
No.
now I have another question then.
Yeah.
So were you so with all these Casey and now the kahuna
Mm-hmm.
and what else were you
And
reading? All the
Tibetan
Tibetan.
stuff. Yeah. And
Did,
Egyptian.
did
Yeah.
you glean from that you had to be spiritual?
You
Like
know,
like how
well,
did you know what I'm
I thought there
asking?
would be more emphasis in school. I thought there would be more emphasis on investigating these kinds of
Hmm.
spiritual topics and discourse and classes on that.
Hmm.
And no, it wasn't. Um, Little innocent eighth grader me going to Catholic high school. I went to mass and that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well,
there was a required religion class, so a little rebellious me started doing presentations in religion class where you're supposed to be, researching something in the Bible and presenting something about Isaiah or about David or, some various books in the Bible. And I would bring in Huna magic and I would do a presentation on Huna and what the kahunas were doing and leave the class in stunned silence. And my
and the
teacher just
teacher.
shaking his
Yep.
head, like, oh
Yep.
my God, here we
Here
go
it goes
again.
again.
Here comes Paul again with some
Hmm.
Tibetan Book of the Dead, or yeah.
Hmm.
I just thought it was my forum to start expounding on this stuff. My poor religion teacher. He's like, wow.
So you did Catholic high school
Just for a
oh,
year.
just for
And
one
then
year. You tried it
yeah,
out.
yeah. And I left actually mainly because our soccer team was so bad. Yeah, my brother also he went to the same Catholic high school. Actually, both brothers. We were all three there at the same time.
Yeah.
And then this star center halfback was a friend of ours, and so he joined us also at this Catholic high school for that one year. And we were like, "This sucks. We want to be on a winning team." So we
Oh my
all
gosh.
left at the
Oh
same
my
time
gosh. Oh
and
my
went to
gosh.
back to public school. And we had a winning team. And we had a
Well,
better
that's what
coach.
mattered most in the end.
It was soccer that mattered the
Who
most,
needs the
not whether
huna
the
or the
kahuna
kahuna?
magic is
None of that stuff.
dispersed into the Catholic world.
Yeah, how quickly we flop
Yeah.
around. Well, that's very
Yeah.
interesting to me that you had that
I did get a
And that your parents would say, all right, Paul, first of all, let me give you this book about Hunas. And now, not
yeah.
only that,
Mm,
you want to change schools because you want to be a little bit more
well,
spiritual? All
yeah.
right, let's have you go
Okay.
to this school
Let's let
now.
him. Yeah, let him. He'll clear it up for himself.
Were you guys able to dictate that? Obviously, you just asked and they'd say, sure, why not?
Yeah, yeah. I really wanted to graduate early, so that I could explore astral projection and all these things. I wanted to go out to
Yeah.
California and just experiment with
Hmm.
stuff and mind and consciousness
Yeah.
and whatever. And I felt trapped in school. And so public school allowed me to graduate early,
Hmm.
and the Catholic school would not. They said, no, no, we're not going to let you do that. So that was another big reason I left. That and soccer.
Oh my God. Okay,
Freedom of religion and
let,
freedom of soccer.
let's go back to Kahuna and Huna. So
Yeah.
what n- now you're Paul at the age that you are today.
Hmm.
What are the links within all of those different interests that you had? Tibetan, Catholic. I mean, how could you weave all of that together? Applied
I
metaphysics.
was I was actually really fascinated with lineages of systems or philosophies, things that had been around for a long, long time, and then were suddenly squashed by Europeans, by invaders.
Hmm.
And Huno was one of those. And obviously, the Druid system was stomped out in Europe and especially in Great Britain. And there were just a lot of really cool indigenous systems and um, ancient systems that were squashed all over the world. And I got really interested in those because I thought if they had that much staying power, they were around for centuries, millennia, they got something going on. There's something to it. It's not just witchcraft and it's not just idol worship. They actually had something that was tuned in to nature. It was tuned into the cosmos. It was tuned in. They were tuned in for a long, long time. And then this upstart religion came and squished them. So I thought, I want to learn these things. And I wanted to see what the commonality, how these weave together. And I think it really was the quantum principles that we talk about on the show. The plasma, the consciousness soup, the how we're all connected in this consciousness, or there's really only one of us here. There's just consciousness present, and it's fractionated into what we perceive as individual beings. I think that's the commonality that all of these systems had. And bit by bit, they got lost, they got suppressed, they got
Hmm.
outcast, they got outlawed, they got burned at the stake, whatever. All this stuff happened to them, all in the name of homogeneity. Is that a word? Yeah.
So all of it is about consciousness.
Yeah. Yes. It is not about a God that you should worship or idols that you should worship, which is how these systems and philosophies got vilified. Was, oh, it's idol worship, oh, they've got this pantheon of gods, and how boring and how mundane and how archaic. Let's update them to this new system.
I had an
And
experience because I did go to Catholic school, not all the years, but I think 4 or 5 years. Um, and one of my experiences, I was in fourth grade. We needed to go to mass before class. We were running late. I think I may have shared this story with you at one time, but we were late to mass. So my punishment was I had to write out the entire mass by hand.
oh yeah, yeah,
Remember
I
I told
remember
you
that
about
story.
that story.
Yeah, and
Remember,
it ended up being an epiphany for
it
you.
really was. I
Yeah,
saw, like, I'm writing it out and I'm seeing it's like coming out of me, like in these pictures. I thought, oh, that's what this is about. These are all like information or ways to
yeah,
understand not just your relationship with God, but your relationship with yourself. And that's what this symbol is
yeah.
probably used for. I mean, I just saw the whole thing in a different
Well,
way.
I would agree with you that my experience in Catholic high school was that the the passages we were given to read and the way we read them and the masses, it all seemed kind of, it wasn't very deep, and I wanted depth.
Hmm.
And when I would study the material, study the Bible and all these other books at my own pace, I could get to a depth. And so it's like the information was there and the consciousness is there in the Bible too. It's just the way that we read it and the way that we treat it and the way that it's talked about and used typically in churches is it's just not, you don't have time to really sink in and get the depth and the mysticism that's behind it
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
symbology that's behind it, which is profound. It's huge. We
Yeah.
just don't give ourselves or give people the chance to really find the depth that's involved with it.
Well, I think back to my question to you, which what's the thread in all of it now that you're this age, right? And you
Yeah.
can look back on it. Like I, the thread for me is yes, consciousness, but it's also um it's a game. It's a game that will challenge you. Once you see it, you just want to keep needling your way
Yeah.
through. Like how did all of these different sects of different time periods, these groups put together this information? How much of it was watered down,
Hmm.
but how much of it was still kept as pure as it could be, whether intentionally or not. But it's a game. It's like you're doing a
Yeah,
mind.
it's like a mystery that you're unraveling and
It's,
digging into. And yeah,
yeah,
what
yeah.
is, I always, I described it early on as I want to know what's behind the curtain. That's when I was a kid. I'd say, I want to know what's behind the veil, the curtain of physical experience. It was,
Mhm.
that stuff was boring to me,
Mhm.
just having a job and having a house and raising a family and buying groceries. And that just seems so boring and kind of pointless. Like, what's the real reason we're here?
What
What's
is what's the
really
Greek
going on?
what's the Greek guy that's moving the world, the earth up the hill and back down?
Oh,
What's that guy's name?
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
That's the part of it where it's boring, but it needs to be
Futile.
done,
Futile also.
right? It needs to be done, but
Yeah.
what's the meaning behind doing it over and over and over again?
Yeah.
There has to be something in this repetitiveness that we do
Yeah.
over and over and over
And
again.
then you bring reincarnation into it, the over and over and over of lifetime
Mhm.
after lifetime. What is the point of coming back and back and back with reincarnation? And is it to get a lesson or learn the lessons of life, or is it really to uncover these mysteries that we talk about
Well, now I'm going to
concerning who
jump
we are?
into these intuitive processes and or services. So intuitive reports, yes, we do. But let's just say you're a counselor. And I was talking to Nicole, our what's her title
Production
again?
manager.
Production manager,
Yeah.
just yesterday. And I said, these intuitive reports, no matter what, you're just going to still get information. I doubt ever you'll get a report that says, "Hey, you got it. Ring, ring, ring.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Don't call
No.
us anymore because
Yeah.
you've
You're
answered
done.
it. You're done. You figured it
Yeah.
all out and you're
That'd be
everything."
great.
Yeah, wouldn't that be?
That'd be a
But I
great
said
punk
it's the
to
same
do
like
so
if you
do
went
this.
to a counselor or a therapist or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you've earned a few points because you've learned something,
Hmm.
but we're always still in this little circle cycling movement of I'm working on another thing. I really want to answer another question. And so that
Yeah.
you just keep going deeper and deeper. And I don't think that wheel, I know we talk about the wheel, especially in the Tibetan culture, the wheel of life, the cycle of life. I don't think that will ever really completely ever change. This goes back to, I think, that
Hmm.
infinity, part of
Yeah, I
infinity.
think that wheel is intimately tied to our experience of individuality.
Mhm.
And I think they were really born together, like because of our experience of separation and individuality. That's when dharma and karma was really set into motion.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think you can really separate the two. So as your sense of individual identity starts diffusing into we and us, then karma really starts changing and dharma really starts changing. It's
Mhm.
more the dharma of consciousness instead of the dharma of this individual, this guy right here.
Yeah, as I was listening to another intuitive report, the creative mind report that you also sent our way, um, this is
Oh,
from a
yeah.
person who has been like, I'm applauding this person
I
who
know.
has,
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I would say this is a,
Yes, you did it.
if there's always a productive way of using any kind of service that you really want to enter in to help you just deepen your own awareness of yourself. That's what I think intuitive reports, if they're used with that intent,
Hmm.
you still have to do the job. You still have to do the work. You've got
Yeah.
to grow and change, evolve. That is, no one can do that for you.
I think also in for that person that you're talking about, the work seemed to be patience.
Yeah,
Like just stay
yeah,
with it, ride
yeah.
it, ride this out, and
Make
things will
this little
start
tiny, make this little
working.
tiny shift right here. And she was
Yeah.
diligent about making a little tiny shift, but she did it.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to this is a service of intuitive reports that for me, the reports will kind of go in a little bit more deeper and right to the point.
Hmm.
Doesn't give you everything, doesn't give it all, but it differently in a way than if you were doing therapy. Again, these things are all helpful. I'm not saying not to do any of those things.
Yeah.
But once you hear a little bit of something, regardless of the source that you hear it from, if you hear it and there's something that keeps needling inside of you that says, I've got to keep working on it in this way or that way.
Yeah.
And again, your word patience. If you keep doing that, goes back to the journey. The journey is in every moment.
Yeah. Just keep putting that foot out there.
It,
Put that next foot out there. Put that next foot out there.
and make an agreement with
Yeah.
yourself that every day your awareness will keep opening up and opening up.
Yeah.
That lotus flower, it'll just keep opening up more and more if you move in that direction.
We talked about that in the Meet the Reporter, Meet Christine episode
Mhm.
where she said, that first health analysis that I had, I could just, if I if I had just one report, not 30 different reports, just that one would
Mhm.
give me enough to work on for my whole lifetime because
Right.
it just it's a little holographic piece that once you're aware of it, you see how it connects the threads in all these areas of your life and you say, wow, okay, yeah, I do it over there and I do this thing over there and I face things this way over there. Whoa, I see it everywhere. Okay, I've got my homework for this lifetime and maybe other lifetimes to come. There's my homework. I just keep coming back to that. And that's the patience and that's the journey. I'm on this journey of filling this in or understanding this principle or maybe changing my perspective just a little bit in that area. But that's a lifetime right there.
Yeah.
Just
So
like
I
one lesson or two little lessons.
yeah, so here's a something I've been reflecting on too, but tips. These are now going to be tips. Tips from Capucine.
All right.
Take one day. And this tip is to um as I believe the only way change happens is if you are aware and then you start initiating it. So
So
awareness, it's
intentionality.
like
Yeah.
how does a what is awareness? What does that really mean? So let's just take one day. So you're going to wake up and you're going to say, today I am going to ask myself different questions with every little activity that I'm doing.
Hmm.
I'm going to wake up and whatever your routine is, but let's just start with universals that most everyone does. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to take a bath or shower, right? Ever. Even just ask yourself a different question. Why am I brushing my teeth?
Yeah.
What's the purpose for brushing my teeth? Where do my teeth come from? Why do I want to take care of my teeth? So just even in that activity,
Hmm.
Just be curious about that. Then the next thing, what am I going to wear? Why am I going to wear it?
Why
Why
did I
does
buy this?
why did I buy this? Who says we need to wear clothes? Where did that idea come from? I mean, so just have
Yeah.
fun with every activity in your day. And if you just for one day make it a point to just ask yourself questions or be aware or curious about whatever it is you're doing, I guarantee you by the end of the day, you will have opened multiple doors of awareness to your own
Yeah.
to your own self.
Yeah.
That just
It
tips
it
for
it
the day.
on the surface it might sound exhausting, to ask that many questions throughout the day, but I've done things like that too, where it just it shifts you into a curiosity mindset,
Yeah.
which is open-mindedness.
Mm-hmm.
And in open-mindedness, you can relax a little bit. You're not defensive, you're not fending off life. You're more like, huh, I wonder why that's there.
Or even if
Curiosity.
you are, even if you're at the grocery and someone says something gnarly to you and you get defensive,
Hmm.
just for the day, remember
Yeah.
the
Wonder
tip
why I
for the
got
day.
defensive there.
That's right. The tip for the day is
Yeah.
you're just going to be aware of what you're doing and what you're thinking for this entire day.
Yeah.
Why did I? Why am I feeling sad right now? Why does it bother me that, and this is one thing for me. I'm at the grocery. This is my grocery thing. Why does it bother me that someone doesn't put a grocery cart back? Who am I to say what is
Yeah.
the irritation with that?
Yeah.
And then I don't try to overanalyze it. I just ask questions and then I almost quickly let it go.
Hmm.
It's more noticings and it's a way for me to invite awareness into my
Yeah.
life.
There's an exercise I did that's linked to that with the noticing. And I like to assign it to my students every once in a while, but it's noticing without thinking. Like you really don't have to think about everything. So it's similar to that where you're questioning and wondering, and that opens you up to a wondering kind of approach to things.
Yeah.
But you don't have to comment on everything either. You can go the other way and say, well, that cup fell to the ground and broke. Okay, that happened. You don't have to go into analyzing why. You can just go, that happened, that happened, that happened, and just not think up about it. It's
I
a
think
very
all of
similar thing happens though. Your mind starts
awareness.
opening up.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. Whatever whatever it is. But even if you have the thought of, I noticed the cup falling, I probably should say, don't notice it.
yeah,
That's an awareness.
yeah. You get to neutral though, whether
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
asking questions like that. That's a neutral stance. And also not thinking and not forming opinions about things is a
Mm-hmm.
neutral stance. You don't
Yeah.
have to have an opinion about
Mhm.
everything.
That's
You could
right.
just go, yeah, the debate that happened last night. Actually, I have no opinion on that.
Yeah.
I
I do
don't
have
have to come
some.
down on one
I
side or the
I
other.
may have some opinions, but how about
Yeah.
if I just say I don't have one right now?
Yeah.
What do I do
I
with
might
that?
have to look at that a little bit more. I just don't really have an opinion yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderfully neutral.
Yeah. Either way, it's, I think, opening a door to, again, awareness, awareness,
Yeah.
awareness, awareness.
Yeah.
And that is,
Now,
I
what's the
think,
benefit of awareness? I mean, why are we so big on awareness?
well, I have my answers. Do you want to answer first?
I want to hear your answer.
Oh gosh, look at
I've
you.
got my opinions and judgments ready.
You know what you should have said just then? You should have said something like, I have no opinions on this.
Oh, yeah.
I have
I have
no
no opinion
opinions
about your opinion.
about your opinions on what awareness is. You missed it, Paul. You missed it. You could have said that. All right, never mind.
More
Okay,
will come up, I'm sure.
more will come up. Yeah,
What was the
because you,
question again?
why? What's the value of
Why
awareness?
awareness? Yeah.
Why awareness? What's the deal on
Yeah.
that?
What's the point?
It gets, it gets, I'll speak when the I firm. It it gets me out of thinking how important I am.
Hmm.
It really moves me into being with everything. It
Okay.
it
Yeah. I like that.
places yeah, it places me with everything all at the same time. So let's just say the example of um why not put the cart back in the when you're at the grocery? That's it's an example, right? Why
Hmm.
would I get irritated with that? Well, if I'm aware that I could have a couple of thoughts there. I'm blaming someone else for not doing something that I think they should do. That's a thought. Or it is, my thought is, Capucine, why would I, or my thought is, Capucine, you would do it differently. So there I am better than someone else,
Oh, yeah.
right? Or then the thought is, who cares? Someone else is going to come and pick up the cart. Yeah, their job would be easier maybe if they,
Hmm.
but maybe. I mean, so in other words, the perspective of wherever my thoughts are going, I'm still going to be at the center of that thought, which makes me very connected to everything that I do and or what everything everyone else does. It's a connection piece.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe this idea of awareness, raising awareness, expanding your awareness is synonymous with um, connectedness.
And synchronizing,
Yeah. Harmonizing,
harmonizing,
synchronizing,
synchronizing.
connecting. Yeah.
And and before you know it, it helps for me. It opens me up to, I'm going to use really boring words, but self-responsibility. I mean,
Hmm.
self-accountability, and value that I count, that I matter. I matter in this world. But
There's a,
so does the person that I may be complaining about because they're just as important as I am.
yeah, you can include their perspective in
Hmm.
your expanded
That's
awareness.
right.
Yeah. I also would throw in security. I have found that when I deliberately expand awareness to include more and more and more and more, I kind of relax into, oh, things are going to be fine.
Hmm.
There's a bigger picture going on here
That's right.
that is, and if you expand far enough, you'll see like
Hmm.
there's this giant system going on,
That's right.
has always been going on. You can relax in that and say,
Yeah,
yeah, I can trust universal forces, I can trust universal laws. But if your world is kind of small like
that's right.
this, then there's them and there's us.
Yeah.
Them, us. And them could invade us and
Mhm.
them could take our stuff away. And there's a lot of defensiveness and
Yeah.
pushback and walls and boundaries and
Yeah.
borders, and that gets really tense
Yeah.
with defending borders and boundaries.
Yeah. I think
But
another
you
thing
expand
is,
beyond that and you say maybe this is really one country. Well, let's go bigger. This is one planet. Let's go bigger. This is one solar system that we're in, and keep on expanding your awareness farther and farther. There's a field that
yeah.
you can hold. You recently did a piece of art that we used for Christine's episode
Hmm.
where there's this giant field of, I think it was stars or the cosmos or
Hmm.
consciousness, that this being is wrapping its arms around and holds.
Hmm.
And I think of that as a field of awareness.
Hmm.
Like I have access and I'm holding this field, but beyond that, I'm not quite so aware. I'm not aware of what's going on Jupiter right now.
Right. I'm not.
I haven't expanded my experience or my
That's
my
right.
understanding or my field out that far.
That would be another tip. It'd be
Hmm.
another fun thing to do. For today, I just want to pay attention to what my body does throughout the day with all of my interactions.
Yeah.
And then the messages that are occurring, that would be another tip is, I wonder what the molecule is saying to this cell, or, when I smile or when I'm angry or when I'm holding on to whatever.
Yeah.
You can externalize it and then you can internalize it. But
That's a good
it's,
point. Yeah. Expanded awareness is not just bigger, it can
mhm,
also go involution as well
mhm,
as evolution out,
mhm.
and say, what are all these molecules built out of? what are my atoms built out of? They're built out of these quarks. Well, what are quarks built out of? Energy. What's energy built out of? Where is energy? Well, it's kind of hard to describe where it comes from. It moves and it transforms and it solidifies and it raises its frequency and lows. So you're back to just so you're saying that I'm just frequency solidified. That's all I am. And I start believing this story about myself that I'm separate and individual, and there comes dharma and karma wheel cranking along.
I think all of that, back to why is awareness so important. It's, I've, with respect to my dear mother, who is already 90, she's a hustler. She's living her life, but um, she every frequently makes me little breakfast burritos and she brings a little Perrier water and she makes three
Hmm.
burritos for me. Delicious eggs, potato, and she puts a little bit of bacon in there. And it's
Oh,
just,
you're
just the
killing me
way,
over here.
well,
Yeah,
the way she
it's
makes
just
it is just really, really good. Of course, I can't eat those all the time, but she
yeah.
likes making them for me and giving them to me.
Hmm.
So she's been busy with a lot of other things she's doing, and so am I. And she says, "Hey," she calls me Porgy, Porgy, and of course she says it all in Spanish. I've got these little burritos. I want to, I've got a little surprise for you. And then she says, as she's dropping them off, because yes, she still drives. Um, I miss you. Oh, and I miss you. And so there's little times where, as much as in my awareness and my daily life and all the little things that I'm doing, there's also this little relational connection of those little moments of,
Hmm.
ah, what my mother is saying to me right now is not just she misses me, but she misses me.
Hmm.
She misses my attention. She misses whatever the interaction, she's missing that thing that I am
Yeah.
that matters to her. And so it also, the more aware I am of just the subtleties of what someone else is even saying, not just doing, but what's behind the action.
Yeah.
That little lesson that I learned was saying, just remember to be aware and to maybe tomorrow's maybe extend yourself out a little bit more to her in just a little in a different way, even if your thought is different.
Yeah.
So you don't know where awareness is going to lead you, but it's going to matter to you, and you will know how it's going to matter to you.
Yeah. That including embracing principle of awareness, expanded awareness.
Mhm.
You can include more people. Um, you can consider their feelings or
Yeah.
their lot in life.
Yeah.
You have a chance for compassion. You have a chance for sympathy, empathy,
Yeah.
if you expand your awareness. When you expand your awareness, you include more, right? That's the very
Mhm.
nature of expanded
That's right.
awareness. And you can include another perspective on the thing that you are so fixed about. You go
Mhm.
beyond that and say, well, all right, let me try to look at it from another point of view. Let me gather a little bit more information, and your mind is blown. We even talk in those words. We say, oh, my
Mhm.
mind was blown when I looked at this a different way. And suddenly your awareness of the situation is bigger, and it includes more angles and more information, maybe even more experience comes to expand it.
And then that would go back to, how do you have conversations with people where, even saying this out loud, I think maybe I'm the one that's a little bit off base here, but I'm going to say it anyway. How do you have a conversation with someone who, in my experience, I'm perceiving as they're not aware of what they're not
Closed
aware of,
minded. Yeah. Yeah.
but they come across as being all knowing and open.
Yeah. Fervently all
Oh,
knowing.
yep, there you
Yeah.
go. It's like, this is no, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
So that's one question I have. How do you have a discussion with someone who it's it's really going to revolve around their belief system.
Yeah, I think that is the question of the day too,
Yeah.
of the period of humanity that we're in is judgments and opinions are masquerading as awareness.
Yeah.
And we haven't really figured out how to tell the difference between some knowledge we gained from just, grazing around on this internet thing and from an actual expanded awareness that includes more and more and more. I,
Hmm.
I think maybe at this point, my opinion, my opinion is is that there's a neutrality to expanded awareness.
Hmm.
Like opinion actually settles down, and judgment and that fervency and those hard and fast stances, those settle down to neutrality when your awareness is actually expanded. There's a
Hmm.
peace that settles into you, not a polarity. And so that's what I look for is if somebody is really polarized in a particular direction, I think that's probably not an expanded awareness. That's probably information and maybe a confirmation bias is going on there. And but I also think that if somebody's really charged about a particular stance or opinion, they are attracting something that will balance them just because of polarity, how polarity works.
Yeah.
And they have the opportunity to get to that neutral stance that
Hmm.
is a true expanded awareness.
Well, I mean, I am, as you're speaking, I'm also reliving my whole life. And I'm thinking about myself in high school, having very, very specific thoughts and opinions about certain topics.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, the age, it's like, well, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. No, this is the way to go.
Right. Yeah.
Then I move into my 20s and, well, maybe I've matured a little bit, but I'm still have some pretty strong thoughts about things.
Hmm.
And then being open to maybe a few little inklings, like,
Yeah.
someone said something and it kind of stopped me in my tracks. I don't know,
Or someone
maybe,
you deeply respect comes out
yeah,
with a completely different viewpoint.
something
You go,
else,
oh no.
totally something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I have to consider that.
Yeah. And again, that's where did that come from? I don't know, but I know in my journey of my own life, I've, and I still am. I am not saying that I've evolved completely from not having strong opinions and thoughts about something, but even now I will ask myself, what we were talking about this, earlier, is it my own thinking that everything that's under the creation is connected to a source that everything is good?
Mm,
That's my belief. I mean, I truly believe that. I believe that all star systems, different different alien groups, whatever, I in my belief structure, I think, gosh, well, if we all stemmed from something that is good, shouldn't there be an element of good there? So
mm-hmm.
why would someone come into this earth and try to do harm? I
Yeah.
hear myself saying that. I want to believe it. To some degree, I do believe it. It's like I believe in people. I believe that at the core, some of your behaviors could be really awful and cruel and just
Yeah.
terrible. But there's a little simpling of a core at your core where there's something so good about you. I believe that.
Yeah. I do too. That at
And
everyone's core, everyone is a light being of some sort.
yeah,
You're this pure light emanating from a source. But as we know, light can get filtered through trees, and light can get filtered through water, and light can get filtered through the atmosphere. And there's all of these filters that can happen to this pure beam of light. Yeah. Huh.
again, uh, you, however, wherever awareness will lead you, whatever opportunities it will open up for you, that's the gift you're giving to yourself.
Yeah. I think circling back, we started with Huna and Huna magic. Um, I know the Dalai Lama has said, whatever system you were born into, just go with that one.
Mhm.
There's really not one that's better than another. It's we have so many of these systems around the world because we have so many different circumstances and cultures and whatever is in your culture, the principle is to try to become more aware. And in that awareness, more inclusive. And in that inclusiveness, you've got the chance for compassion and love and um, continuity
Mhm.
and harmony. You have more of a chance with that. I think that's the highest use of religions and spirituality
Yeah.
is expanding your awareness.
Right. And to simplify everything you just said, isn't that what consciousness is?
Yeah. I
Right.
think sometimes of consciousness, I think of swimming, like swimming in the ocean.
Mhm.
And um, you can be out of the ocean, you can be on the surface of the ocean, you can go diving. Um, I did diving for a while, like scuba diving. And you can go down, 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 deep down to the point where you've lost sight of the sun and it's dark down
Mhm.
here and the pressure has built because
Mhm.
you're so far down. I think that's a good metaphor for our journey with consciousness and our journey with awareness. You can lose track of where the sun is. You can lose track of which way is up and down when you're diving so deep down there and you're neutrally buoyant in scuba diving. You can lose track of where you are. But as you start rising, surfacing up towards the surface of this journey into the depths of consciousness, you start seeing the light and you start easing the pressure that's
Mhm.
built up around you and just things become lighter and easier
Yeah.
and you can breathe easier
Right.
and get up to the surface again and there's the light and there's air and there's freedom up there at the surface of the ocean. I think it's a great metaphor to keep in mind as life starts weighing heavily on, and there's lots of things to take care of and you feel separate or you feel lonely. That's the signal to surface, to try to surface and try to get up where your view isn't as obstructed and you can see farther and you can breathe a little easier up.
So that is the Huna levels,
Yeah.
what you just described. That would be
Yeah.
the levels of consciousness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and living it and experiencing it is I can't I'm going to say the word it begins with awareness, but just please forgive me. I don't lack of words to use, but a, it, opening yourself to what awareness is and how that will then lead you to the depth of your life, the source of your life,
Yeah.
the source of who you are. And that's free. That is free to anybody.
Yeah.
That's a service that you can give to yourself. There's no you don't have you can earn $1 zillion a year, you can earn $0 a year. It's
Hmm.
free and it's available to every human being.
Yeah. And
If every
ultimately, I think that's all you take away from this
that's it.
lifetime anyway.
That's
You
it.
can't take any of that stuff
That's
with you,
right.
but you can take your awareness of who you are and what's behind the curtain, you
And if
know?
you do that, then you will have a richer life.
Yeah.
Then you
And a
will leave it.
fortunate rebirth as well.
That's right.
So
That's
the
right.
the principle of karma and dharma and reincarnation is that whatever you earn or develop or build in this awareness, that is a part of you then
Hmm.
that stays with you. That's like that is your new way of working with the world is
Right.
this expanded awareness. And then you're reborn with kind of like a head start of expanded awareness. Our daughter, we had a health analysis for her when she was really young. I think she was, I'd have to look it up, but I think she might have been one, maybe just a few months old. And she was she was having a lot of problems with just being in the physical world. She had oh, I think a thrush in her mouth, and she had a lot of trouble sleeping, and she cried a lot,
Mm.
and most nights I or Christine had to just carry her around, or we push her around in the stroller. I called it a train ride. We would just go round and round and round the house in a stroller in the house, and
Mhm.
just kind of rocking it and trying to soothe her or just carrying her. And we had a health analysis for her, and it said that this one was born with a high degree of awareness, born with a high degree of awareness,
Wow.
and aware that she had been reborn and is in a body now that does not respond the way she wants it or needs it to respond.
Wow.
So she was tremendously frustrated
Wow.
because she was aware that she had been reborn. So I started talking to her about that very thing. And I'd say things like, it's going to be okay. You're going to learn to walk again. You're going to learn to talk again. Soon enough, you'll be able to move and eat what you want to eat and go where you want to go and explore. You got a new body on you. We just got to work with what we got and train this one up. And she would actually relax with that. It was the
Wow.
coolest thing. She'd
Wow.
just go, "Ah, all right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Wow.
Yeah." So that showed me that, yeah, this awareness, that expanded awareness, it's
Mhm.
yours to keep.
Yep.
It can be frustrating when you go into a new lifetime and you've got this expanded awareness. Just have patience. You'll get there. You'll get this new body going, and you'll learn the language, and you'll learn the new culture that you're in and the new systems, and you'll be able to be productive before too long and
Wow.
keep on
That's
going with your journey.
fascinating. That's very
Yeah.
fascinating. What a what a what a gem of a report that would be. And before you even shared that experience with me, I was also thinking that that awareness, but you said it much better with this example, is that it gives you a new life every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
that's
good
it.
point.
I mean, you get a new life every day. And this is how I'm connecting it to the word. It is your journey.
Hmm.
It's the journey that really matters. It's because every day you have an opportunity to be born again,
Yeah. And
to
ask
use
those
that
questions
phrase.
that you were
Hmm.
saying.
Hmm.
Yeah. Examine
Yeah.
and
And
relate.
and to have a new life. I'm gonna be born into this person, this new
Yeah.
lifetime now, and it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my lifetime on a Tuesday is gonna be what? What am I gonna make my lifetime be today? And how am I gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
it
That's a
and
great way
it's
to approach a new day is like, okay, I just got born again.
again.
What am I going to do with this
Mm,
lifetime today?
yeah.
And if your lifetime is just that one day, and we don't know,
Yeah. That's
it
right.
could be just that one day.
Yeah. Am I gonna keep the same thoughts?
Yeah. Am
Am
I
I
going to have my
gonna
surly, gnarly attitude or,
am I going to change some
yeah,
things about how I like or and I think it goes back to those the episodes we also talked about patterns. Like what patterns do I are really working for me?
yeah, yeah.
And,
What
and,
is productive?
and
Yeah.
which patterns maybe, it's if I keep that up, it's probably going to be a pretty surly life or a day.
Yeah.
It yeah.
Yeah. Now, what happens if you don't care? Like you just, I don't care what other people think. I don't care what they think. I don't care. That then
Watch how
starts
that unfolds for
influencing.
you.
Yeah. It's going to influence the next day.
That's right.
Definitely. It's going to influence your relationships around you.
Watch how that unfolds.
Yeah. But that's also brilliant. A
That's
great
right.
experiment
That's a
to,
very good experiment.
yeah,
Yeah.
see what happens.
I know people you've heard this one about having plants and saying negative things to the plant
Yeah.
or things
Yeah.
about water, how
The
water
Findhorn experiments and
that's
yeah.
right. There's so many things about that. Or you can just see how it unfolds with different people in your life and in your
Yeah.
neighborhood, in your community. This is free. This is a free.
I know there's so many
This is
experiments
all
you can do.
free.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you can learn all of this and you don't have to have a student that you have to keep paying off alone. I mean,
Yeah.
there's free. This is free learning.
And
But
ultimately that is your job in
that's
life.
it.
Your
That's
job
it.
is not your job. Your
That's your
job is to become aware and to connect and to love and to I was listening to Richard Rudd the other day. He said your job essentially is to get to the point where you love life. And that's kind of it. Once you get to the point where you love life and really appreciate the beauty of life, you're sort of done, and then boop, you're out. But until then, you have all these opportunities. You got every day you can learn how to appreciate people around you or love life or see beauty or expand
Mhm.
your awareness or all of these wonderful opportunities that are totally free.
Yeah.
It's the free university and nothing tangible is going to come with you when you leave.
Yeah.
But all of that attitude and awareness and expansion is. So that seems like that's what you'd want to invest your time and energy in.
That's
Stuff
right.
that does last,
That's right.
is eternal.
And with that, I think will also come people that maybe can, we call them mentors, gurus, teachers, we call them a lot of things, but
Hmm.
along the way, you'll also receive someone or a few people in your life that will say, yeah, thanks for sharing that. And guess what? This is what I would suggest, maybe
Yeah.
examining that a little closer or doing this little thing a little differently. So
Hmm.
yeah, your free university in life will also have its professors and its teachers, but those professors and teachers are not the know-it-allers.
Yeah.
They are.
I think everybody puts on a magnetic suit every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
You get up, you get dressed in your magnetic suit that then magnetically attracts according to how the suit is charged.
Hmm.
If the suit is charged to see beauty and to recognize love, and it's charged up to attract wonderful experiences, that's what is going to be attracted. But if the suit is charged up, in uh, judgment and anger and or fear and disappointment, the suit's going to attract that to you that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So every night you plug in your suit for the next day and charge it up and
Yeah, you go find a team that you want to play with, like your soccer team back in the day.
yeah,
So
right.
I don't,
Yeah,
nice team for some of the things, but I need to go to a different school or a different place because I really also want there to be a good soccer team as
it was
well.
all about the soccer.
All
It really
about
was.
the soccer in the
It was all, yeah. Oh man,
end.
I spent so many hours playing soccer. But you know what?
Tell me.
That was an opportunity for bonding and it was an opportunity for challenging myself and um, cooperation and teamwork and humility and victory. And there was just so many lessons that you can weave into anything that you're doing. It could
Mhm.
be your job that you're doing, or it could be playing a sport. You can bring all of these life lessons into whatever you're doing, whatever job is in front of you, you can bring that at any time. Once Upon a Quantum Leap is for your reference only. This podcast and the material is intended solely as educational information and should not be used for diagnosis or treatment of any health problem, financial, or legal advice.
You can listen to full episodes and find out about Paul and Capucine at onceuponaquantumleap.com. All reports shared on this show have been released with permission, and identifiers have been removed for individuals' privacy.
The Intuitor reports referred to in each episode are available on our website, on the podcast page, and through links in our show notes. We encourage you to listen to those for greater context.
If you're interested in obtaining your own intuitive report, go to quantuminsight.co. That's quantuminsight.co. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.